UK Cannabis Explained. In it together. 1. Theresa May ensures cannabis remains illegal and discussion stays closed. 2. Philip May, husband of Theresa May, he's involved in Capital Group and G4S. Capital Group are the largest investors in GW Pharmaceuticals. G4S provides security for them. G4S also run private prisons full of people criminalised for cannabis. 3. Victoria Atkins, minister responsible for the regulation of drugs, she insists cannabis is dangerous. 4. Paul Kenwood, husband of Victoria Atkins, he runs the largest cannabis operation in Europe for GW Pharmaceuticals, located in the UK. They were granted licence to grow 44 acres of cannabis for medical and research purposes. But it's dangerous and it's got no medical benefits according to this lot. You see how we're being screwed? How deep the truth and knowledge of the veganism movement go? Here is one of the many reasons we do not put death, destruction and decay into our bodies. Did you know? Great numbers of factory slaughterhouses around the world are strategically placed on energetic ley lines. The bursts of low vibrational torture energy released from slaughtered sentient beings' blood sacrifices is used to subvert the otherwise high vibrational energy that ley lines emit. No stress, no bombs, no homeless, no crime or prisons, no junk food, no external debt, no pollution, no poverty, and some people call them primitive. Chris Everard, Conspiracy and the Crown. Why 100 million British, German, Italian, Danish, Polish, American, Russian, Swedish and Dutch people were slaughtered in 2 world wars. Video, get it if you can, and that's the PDF as well. When the police are used to enforce political policy, you have become a police state. Now the Mr. Men have got a new character, as you can see, Little Miss Trouble. No more needs to be said about that, I don't think. Man in hospital bed wearing oxygen mask over his mouth. Nurse, he mumbles, are my testicles black? Nurse raises his gown, holds his penis in one hand and his testicles in the other. She takes a close look and says, there's nothing wrong with them, sir. Man pulls off the oxygen mask, smiles and he says very slowly, thanks for that. It was lovely, but listen very, very carefully. Are my test results back? French democracy. Venezuelan dictatorship. BBC One News giving prime time coverage to the ISIS bride pleading to be let back in to the UK. I might have missed it, but I don't recall the Christian woman Asa Bibi being interviewed about her persecution in Pakistan and the government's refusal to give her refuge. They're all in it together. They're all working to the same plan to destroy us. Black garlic, with twice the antioxidant levels of white garlic. It is toxic to 14 types of cancer and has powerful healing benefits. Dopest Dankies, medicated golden sponge cake with a magical creamy filling. 1,000 milligrams of THC. Net weight 3 ounces, 85 grams. Warning, keep out of the reach of children. I want some of them, and I know several of my mates that would like some, and probably you lot as well. ICTS International, an Israeli security firm who provided security at all airports involved in 9/11. They also ran security for London's bus service on 7/7. On both occasions, their CCTV systems were switched off or not working. Variant Systems, another Israeli firm, were responsible for the London Underground Network CCTV on 7/7. You guessed it, they weren't working either. I don't need to say any more of that, do you? You can see what the shit's going on. California Brain Tumor Association issues warning on dangers of 5G. At the centre of the debate about 5G technology is the issue of whether or not 5G is safe. Already underway, though, the rapid rollout will deploy 20,000 plus satellites, millions of small towers, and use the same range of EMF waves as a military crowd control system. Proponents of the technology don't seem to acknowledge the growing body of research and growing number of voices warning us of the coming catastrophe of a world blanketed in 5G radiation. Dartford duct. 2 million foreign drivers dodged Dartford Crossing Charge since toll booths were removed, owing 200 million. No one should pay a penny to travel across the bridge, especially when it's to a foreign company. Nearly 2 million foreign drivers have dodged the Dartford Crossing Charge since toll booths were removed, raking up 200 million in penalty charges owed. 1 in 5 non-EU UK drivers have not paid the £2.50 car toll or the £60 truck toll since 2014, which carries a £108 fine. Oh, but by the way, promises of fines or forfeitures before being taken to court are illegal and void under the 1688-89 Bill of Rights. Here, ex-soldier blown up by IRA, driven to suicide by inhuman benefits system. Dominic Felton has had severe PTSD since a bomb attack in Northern Ireland and must face cruel assessments. An IRA bomb survivor has been betrayed and driven to the brink of suicide by the benefit system. Dominic Felton, 55, has suffered severe post-traumatic stress disorder since being injured in a 92 terror attack which killed a fellow soldier. The hero said tests for employment support allowance, ESA, and personal independence payments are inhuman and dangerous. Mr. Felton, who cannot face going into busy centres for business assessments, said these tests trigger flashbacks, stress, panic attacks. That system needs doing away with for good. Exclusive. Father who blamed police for not stopping his daughter joining ISIS attended 2012 rally led by hate preacher Anjem Choudary and attended by Lee Rigby killer. And there's a picture of him. Yes, DO and laser weapons are being used against the American people. DO, directed energy weapons, are no longer the stuff of conspiracy theories. In the last few months, as you can see from that picture, in the US, there have been a number of incidents where DO, laser weapons, and perhaps other high-energy tech weapons have been openly deployed against the American people. Both the Santa Rosa 2017 and Paradise 2018 so-called wildfires in California demonstrate the fingerprints of DO, with seemingly impossible scenarios of houses, trees, plants, and even mailboxes neatly left intact, while adjacent houses and fences are completely razed to the ground. Unsurprisingly, of those followed the crimes on the New World Order, the deployment of these weapons is tied into the deeply sinister UN Agenda 2030. Vaccinated children have 3,000% increased risk of dangerous allergies, stunning new science finds. Natural news. Not only are vaccines ingredients impure, but the methodology of rigorous vaccine use carry a whole additional set of risks. The current CDC schedule recommends 50 plus vaccine doses before a child reaches 6 years of age, which is a disgrace. This rigorous vaccine schedule forces pathogens into the child's body in an unnatural way, ultimately changing the way the child's immune system is exposed to pathogens, how it learns, responds and develops. Vaccine pathogens are introduced directly into the muscle tissue and bloodstream, where you'd be better off not having any vaccines at all and just going and getting the measles or chickenpox, because it's not such a bad thing. And it builds your immune system, learns how to attack it then. Not with this shit though, that's just poison. Yellow Vest activist James Goddard is charged with harassment after shouting at MP Anna Soubry outside Parliament. This means you no longer have free speech. You can't call, because Anna Soubry is a frigging stupid bitch and a traitor to humanity, but you can't say anything because she's an MP, otherwise you'll get charged with whatever bullshit they come up with. The 29-year-old Yellow Vest protester is accused of 2 counts of harassment. It comes after Tory Remainer Anna Soubry MP was taunted outside Parliament. Goddard is further accused of 2 public order offences against police officers. In other words, shit they just make up. Yellow Vest activist, The 29-year-old is accused of, Goddard from Leicester is also accused of 2 public order offences against a police officer. Which they just make that shit up. And it's just like, oh, breach of the peace, we just make it up. It is whatever we say it is. Because they're out of control. He was arrested by Metropolitan Police on January 12 following claims that Miss Soubry was harassed in Westminster 5 days earlier. Miss Soubry, a prominent Tory Remainer, was taunted during a television interview and then harangued by a group of men as she made her way back to Parliament. She's a traitorous, treasonous bitch. Is schoolgirl Shamima Begum stripped of UK citizenship? Islamic State schoolgirl. Now you notice here they're calling her schoolgirl for sympathy reasons, not terrorist, which is what she is. Has had her British citizenship revoked. Her family has been told in a letter from the Home Office. The letter obtained by ITV News was received by Miss Begum's mother on Tuesday. Please find enclosed papers that relate to a decision taken by the Home Secretary to deprive your daughter Shamima Begum of her British citizenship, the letter read. In light of the circumstances of your daughter, the notice of to the Home Office decision has been served on file today, 19th of February, and the order removing her British citizenship has subsequently been made. The letter went out to Miss Begum's family to make her aware of the decision and added that she had a right to appeal. In a statement posted on Twitter, the family's lawyer Saznamim said family are very disappointed with Home Office intention to have an order made depriving Shamima of citizenship. Well, what they should really do is revoke a whole family's citizenship as well and send them back. That's what I'd do anyway. So vote for me. That's what I'll do. Finally, RSPCA calls for ban on halal slaughter. We're opposed to non-stun slaughter and we're calling for an end to the practice as it seriously compromises animal welfare. The charity will campaign along with the BVA, British Veterinary Association, for a change in the law to remove religious exemptions from humane pre-stun slaughter. Well, as we read earlier, most of the slaughter sites are on ley lines to lower the vibrational energy of us and keep us in this shithole that they want us in, where they can control us. But we've got to get out of it, we've got to stop it, we've got to sort it, we've got to lock the bastards up. 5G is the stupidest idea in the history of the world, Washington State biochemist medical science professor says. Facts: Martin L. Paul, PhD and Professor Emeritus of Biochemistry and Basic Medical Science at Washington State University outlines a new report, many health risks associated with 5G technology and wireless radiation in general. 5G is gaining attention and it might make us a little fearful of the effects, but we must observe this fear and bring things back to awareness of the issue so we can make better choices but not be fearful. Check out our CE protocol for this. We are in the midst of 5G wireless technology rollout. The politicians have yet to address safety concerns. I recently used Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as an example, but it's happening worldwide. It's one of the many examples that illustrates how large our corporations completely control politics. Yep. France on brink of civil war as Yellow Vest leader threatens to bring down government. The leader of the Yellow Vest movement has been that has wreaked havoc across Europe with violent protests caused by agent provocateurs. They forget to add that conveniently. That triggered the collapse of the French economy. Has declared he has militiamen ready to bring down the government following a shock meeting with the Italian coalition. Christopher Chalascon, one of the leaders of the Yellow Vest revolution, said France is on the brink of civil war before he vowed to fight French President Emmanuel Macron over Paris austerity in a gathering in Italy, and with anti-establishment party five-star movement leader Luigi Di Maio and his right-hand man Alessandro De Battista, the Frenchman raised, "We have the people." Sooner it comes down, the better. Macron warning, Brexit is grave for Europe and could spread, shock speech revealed. French President Emmanuel Macron will describe Brexit as a grave moment for Europe in a speech coming weeks, as he admits fears there could be fresh attempts for other countries to split from the EU, source close to the young centrist said on Monday. Mr Macron will outline the need to defy the bloc's nationalist tide as he describes Brexit as a major wake-up call. The French centrist was forced to put his EU election campaign on hold. DWP tell GPs not to support benefit claimants with sick notes. How much longer are we going to put up with this criminality in Parliament? This callous and unjustified approach to social administration is destroying people's lives, writes Sue Jones. Yesterday on Twitter, I posted one of the previous posts. Job Centre tells GPs to stop issuing sick notes to patients assessed as fit for work as he died, in which I discuss a letter addressed to the GPs regarding serious ill patient. It said, "We have decided that your patient is capable for work from and including January 10th, 2016. This means you do not have to give your patient more medical certificates for employment and support allowance purposes unless they appeal against this decision. The patient, James Harrison, has been declared fit for work, and the letter stated that he should not get further medical certificates." We need to take the government down. They've got to go. They're killing us, all of us. And here's more evidence. Elderly should do community work or lose pension, Pearce says. So a prick that sits in there, gets 300 quid a day, has never done a day's work in his life, and he wants the old age pensioners to go down and working. It's time we took this frigging country back. Older people should lose their pension if they refuse to do community work to stop them being a negative burden on society, a former senior Whitehall official has suggested. Lord Burchard, an ex-chief of the benefits agency, these bastards, these hanging, said the elderly should get rewards for and fines to make sure that they are taking a more active part in the world. The crossbench peer, who also chaired an inquiry into the murder of two Soham schoolgirls, suggested the same tough attitude towards benefits grounders should be taken while older people who are not very old could be making a very useful contributions to civil society if they were given some incentives or recognition for doing so, he told a committee of MPs. We need to drag these bastards out and hang them. Government refuses full police funding request for Grenfell investigation despite approving all others, including royal wedding security. Can we see where the problem is yet? Yes, it's Parliament. The government refused to fully meet a special report for funding towards the Grenfell Tower police investigation despite approving all other made last year, including those to cover the security for the royal wedding and Donald Trump's visit. While the request for additional funding for the probe into the 2017 disaster was considered higher than other lodged by the Metropolitan Police, politicians said the decision was causing further delays and accused the Home Office of denying justice. Last year, 10.1 million out of 11 million was awarded for the Grenfell investigation, and in 2018-19, 11.4 million out of 13.5 million was given. But among the funding requests met in full are 5.2 million from the Commonwealth Summit, 237,000 for security for the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan. It was way more than that. Markle, 1.3 million for the US President, 608,000, and Madeleine McCann investigation. There has been growing anger over the lack of progress into the investigation of the Grenfell tragedy, which killed 400 people. More than a year and a half on from the tragedy, no arrests have been made, and only 3 interviews have so far been carried out. Emma Dent Code, Labour MP for Kensington, said Justice delayed is justice denied. The government must urgently explain their decision to withhold special grant funding for the Grenfell Tower investigation. Daily Fail. Hurrah, we've hit 100,000 litter heroes. You mean, yes, there's 100,000 people who have decided they're going to be willing slaves and do work for nothing. Jihad bride. Now, here we go, straight onto the jihad bride shit. When anything is in the paper 2 days or more on the trot, you know it's a psyop. Jihadi bride begging to come home with her new baby has UK citizenship dramatically ripped by Home Office, stripped of her passport. So who will inherit King of Culture's 100 million fortune? Looks like a woman. The scum. Delhi and Ruby split. That's front page news, that is. A footballer splits with his girlfriend, and that's front page news. Parasites. Duchess in mega trip. Mega's hair miles. Parasitic bastards. Jihadi's bride is banned from UK. Carl's crazy world. Express. Only Fools musical just lovely jubbly, says voice. Wrong drug, fat cats raking 15 million. Home Office strips jihadi teen of citizenship after showing no remorse. ISIS bride told you are no longer British. Blooming Megan has swell time in New York. Parasitical bastards. The Times. 8 Labour MPs quit blaming Corbyn culture as of anti-Semitism. This is total smoke and mirror bullshit. It's in the papers, so that's all you can expect, really. ISIS runaway stripped of her British citizenship. Family consider appeal against Sajid David's move. Lagerfeld's pampered cat to get paws on 150 million fortune. Sorry, it's 150 million. It was 100 earlier. Papers, you just can't trust them. This time I'll beat Trump, Bernie Sanders. The Guardian. Derek King Hatton ruined Liverpool and now he's back. Javid faces legal threat after move to strip his ISIS recruit of citizenship. Her family is very disappointed with the intention to deprive Samami of her citizenship. It should deprive the family's citizenship and piss them off as well. But of course, that would be in a just and fair society, wouldn't it? Revealed asthma's deadly toll on the UK. Exit the Kaiser. Karl Lagerfeld dies at age 85. Mirror. Lovely jubbly. Only Fools and Horses musical. Fury has British gas hit us with 10% price rise. This has got to stop. We've got to get rid of the government and these frigging corporations. This should be free, and it is free to private, non-domestic, non-commercial premises. But they class every home as a commercial premises so they can hit you with a gas and electric bill. You're a non-commercial premises, you shouldn't be paying a gas and electric bill. Battle over terror widow, ISIS bride stripped of British citizenship. Bullshit. You know that they're going to go back on it because they always do. Waste of paper star. Only Fools and Horses. Blah blah blah. Jihadi bride loses citizenship. You're up your Brick Creek. Tributes to fashion icon. Quick tests for sepsis can save thousands of lives. Thank you to the men who saved my life 75 years ago. Seeing stars in darkest Yorkshire. Meet the most powerful and controversial man in music. Growing old is great. Charlotte Rampling interview. Tories on high alert with senior MPs ready to walk out. Several Conservative backbenchers on brink of quitting party and joining independent group formed by Labour MPs. It's all pre-planned. Don't fall for it. Pre-planned. Corbyn calls for unity and insists he can bring people together. Chuka Amuna, the afterbirth. Hopes Bloc will become a new party this year. Labour MP apologises for encouraging conspiracy theories after suggesting new group might be secretly funded by Israel. That's why they're a private corporation and not a political party. Anything but independent. What the new MPs group is missing. Brains? Party splits are a blessing for politics. Okay. Britain's hyper-focus on Muslim women. Who is going to win big at the Brits? Who gives a shit? Lagerfeld dead. ISIS bride to be stripped of her British citizenship. Metro. Lagerfeld dead. Jahed bride stripped of her UK passport. Chucker among her urges Tories to join rebels. Meghan Big Apple baby shower 60 seconds with Sarah Jessica Parker. Financial Times. A glimmer of hope on climate change emerges as a Karl Heinz cost, Lagerfeld, Honda planned, Hawaii security wrangle drags Europe further back into 5G race, warns Ericsson. Trump officials accuse over Saudi nuclear push. Now, the way that would be the end, I've actually put a video that I did a while ago, about a week or so back, that I didn't put out. I'm going to put on the end here. You'll see. It gives you much more information on the video I did about the upcoming Trust Talk. Okay, so here we are again, and I've had to do a rebuttal because some small-minded idiot has decided to make a load of shit up and, as usual, get it completely and utterly wrong. Now, this particular individual, we'll call him David Fixture-Meters because nobody seems to know how to pronounce his last name, but David Fixture-Meters begins with a G, I think. Anyway, we don't charge for meetings. They are all free, and we ask for no minimum donation, because a donation is what someone can afford. You can't say, you can't have a meeting, say in Birmingham, for instance, and they say there's going to be a minimum donation of 10 or 15 quid, because that's charging, and you're not allowed to do that, as it was pointed out to the Fixture Meters, by the way. We don't charge £15 to chat on Skype, whereas if you want Fixture Meters mate as well, it's £15 each, so that's £30. We don't charge £12 a year to go on a website, for many reasons, most of which being that the information is already out there, freely on the internet. Now, who I'm talking about, Fixture Meters, he tends to steal other people's information and then puts it out as his own. For instance, me and a friend of mine did a video where we were talking about certain subjects, and David Fixture Meters decided he'd watched the video and thought, that's very informative information. I'm going to put that out myself and claim it's my information, which he then went on to do a video and got it totally wrong. Everything he said in the video was wrong compared to the information that's out there. He also says, you can talk to me, but it's not legal advice. So in other words, I don't know what you're trying to say there. Anyway, this trust meeting that's coming up has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with the BGC. It has nothing to do with Brian Gerrish. It is nothing to do with the Bradbury Pound. It is nothing to do with Tom Crawford. So yet again, Fixture Meters gets it wrong again. And the only reason I'm even talking about this particular subject is because I was at a meeting up in York last year where Fixture Meters apparently did a talk about trusts. And all he did was read out some maxims because he knows nothing about trusts. The trust meeting on the 24th of February has nothing to do with all those I've just mentioned. It is nothing to do with BGC and all that. It is nothing to do with Brian Gerrish and the UK column. It is nothing to do with Bradbury Pound. With regards to trust, Fixture Meters states he was the first man on Facebook to mention trust. Well, he's wrong there again. I mentioned trusts over 10 years ago, but apparently Fixture Meters was the first guy to mention trusts. Yet again wrong. Now, the way he also signs off, just before we go, the trust meeting is a free event, unlike Fixture Meters meetings, and you can say what you want. Please also know that the seats are filling up rapidly, so if you still want to attend, you must follow the criteria as stated it in the video I put out a couple of weeks ago. And message the Asset Protection and Trust Facebook page. It is done for a reason, as we do not want the wrong people. Fix your meters, for instance. That's just a personal thing, by the way. And also, this meeting is nothing to do with the Nottingham Free Thinkers meeting. Again, he got it wrong. David Fix Your Meters got it wrong. Yet again. Now, the only reason I'm even doing this is because I've known for 6 or so months that Fix Your Meters, David Fix Your Meters, I must give him his full name, has been slagging me off. And to be honest with you, I couldn't give a shit. I've been slagged off by experts, so David Fix Your Meters, wow, that's like having a little boy try to say, that's what it's like. Again, the only reason I'm even saying anything here is because Sovereign Brother lied. Now, as soon as you tell a lie and you claim to be a sovereign, you're out the court. You can't be a sovereign and lie. I've been meaning to do this for a while to put the matter right. Now, on top of that, he then, and this was to do with York, he then went on to just totally make shit up that never happened. So, David Gia Fix Your Meters, whatever your bleeding name is, you're wrong again. You've been wrong every time you've opened your mouth. And you've not just lied, you've made shit up. And I'm prepared, you can call me all you like, but when you lie, no, a flag goes up. Then when you totally make shit up, well, it's time for you to get your comeuppance. And for all those that think that you're an honourable sovereign, have got their hat on the wrong way round, because you are anything but an honourable man. You're a lying, deceitful, charging people for stuff that's freely available on the internet, taking other people's stuff, then claiming it to be yours and putting it out there as yours and getting it wrong. How pathetic can that be? You've got a video explaining exactly what goes off and what's going on. He watches it and gets it wrong. But like I said, none of that would have fazed me. But when he claims to be an honourable sovereign, and then he goes and lies and totally makes shit up, well, you're clearly not honourable and you're not a sovereign. And that would suggest to me that any information that you give out is probably incorrect. In fact, I know most of it is. And someone will come back and say, oh, well, actually, I got this letter and it worked. Well, yes, that will happen sometimes, because he takes other people's paperwork and other people's efforts and work, and then if it's just one letter, he might put that out and say, there you go. Well, yeah, because even he couldn't that up, but he's managed to screw everything else up. He also charges, as I said, £12 to go on his website if you want to speak to him on Skype. Many have spoken to me for free. But when you're charging money for it, you better be spot on. And he can't even do that. So he charges money to go on his website where the information is all out there on the internet already. He charges you 15 quid if you want to speak to him on Skype. And his information is utter shit. And he charges another 15 quid if you want to speak to his sidekick at the same time. So that's £42 to someone who hasn't got a clue what's going on. Now, just to clear things up, because again, something else Fix Your Meters, David Fix Your Meters got wrong again, was that I had something to do with the Free Thinkers meetings. Again, also incorrect. All I did was video them. There were nothing to do with me as to who's speaking, when they're speaking, or any of that sort of stuff. So, as an overall view here, David Fix Your Meters is wrong on so many occasions. He lies and totally makes shit up. But if you want to go to that sort of guy and pay him money for information that's freely available, by all means go ahead. They say there's one born every minute, and if you have anything to do with Fix Your Meters, well, you're one of them that's, just itching to give his money away to someone that knows nothing. Anyway, have a nice day all, one and all. And if you're coming to the trust meeting, which has nothing to do with me, all the others that I've mentioned that David Fix Your Meters got wrong again, please follow the information suggested. Go onto the Facebook page, put your name down, and you'll get to know where the meeting is. As I said, I personally have nothing to do with it. So the reason that the meetings are being done, the trust meetings being done this way, is because the speakers have said that's how they want to do it. It's nothing to do with me or anyone else. It's the speakers themselves that are doing it this way. So if you want to find out how trusts really work from someone that's actually done it, because I've seen on Fix Your Meters where he's tapping away and trying to answer questions that he hasn't got a clue about, that someone will ask a question, he'll pop on and answer it, and they'll go, oh, have you got a trust then? And he'll go, no. So basically you're just using them as guinea pigs to test your theories out. Well, no need to worry about that sort of thing, because the speakers we've got coming have actually done it, and they're prepared to share what they've done with you. So you will figure out, or hopefully by the end of it, know exactly how to create a trust, what to do with a trust, whether it's you own a house, or you part own it, or you're renting. It doesn't matter. It'll still assist you at some point. 24th of this month, so it's a fortnight just gone, Sunday. Well, I'll see you there.